Her food and water live across the room. She has a thought. She lifts her nose. She measures and weighs effort and risk. Her hungers bloom, the long, slick floor between her and her pleasures. And then decides. Long stretches, fore then hind, and she sets off, her stiff legs under control. Eyes on the prize, just one thing on her mind. Listing only slightly, she reaches the goal, and then just stands there, rueful and perplexed, inches from paradise without a clue. She sits, she stares at the wall, not sure what's next, how she has come there, what she had meant to do. It's a lovely poem. I mean, the poem begins, of course, with a very literal description of an old dog. And you think you're reading about an old dog, and then suddenly the whole poem turns on that word paradise. And you realize that this isn't a poem about a dog. This is a poem about us as we age and we lose our faculties. And we're contemplating the greatest mystery of what comes next after our decline. And so one of the things that I love about Jane's metaphysical leaps in her poems is that sometimes there's a surety, but also oftentimes there's a kind of doubt, a sort of metaphysical doubt, where she recognizes that the great mysteries of the divine are inscrutable in this life. And she acknowledges that. And so when I read this poem, not only because of its impeccable craft, it's, Robert Frost says, a poem must move easily in its harnesses. The form and the rhyme do not call attention to themselves in any way. The rhymes move gracefully through the argument of the poem. So there's nothing extraneous or inauthentic about her description of this dog. And so it's the kind of figurative poem that I love in Jane's work, where there's always a literal meaning that you can enter on even the most rudimentary level. But then there's also the figuration, the metaphorical possibility that enables us to learn and see something more. The poem is a demonstration for a much larger abstract idea. And that's the joy